What do you think went well in my main production?
I thought the cinematics and the cuts were very clean. You get me?
I think I love the whole concept behind it because it showed the practical uses of it involving the dog. But the one thing I would critique on is the fact that there was no tripod used, so the camera angles were a bit shaky. But I guess you were out in the forest, so you couldn't have a tripod moving.
I thought the transfer from the dog's face to the logo
that was pretty smart.
It's pretty good.
I feel like the dog logo should have been like a different colour instead. Because I feel like the white with the black outline, even though it was creative, I feel like you should have kept it black because the white logo just stood out too much to contrast. Like, if the whole screen was black at the end, it would have contrast, but it was just the fact that you just blurred out the backing of it. Exactly. So you had white text over brown, light brown, yellow, and the green, so it didn't really work.
So you should have the fixed background when it comes to the logo. Yeah, then you want to catch the people's attention.
Anything else I need to improve on?
On the main, when it's the cinematics, I feel like you could have had a different song playing, so it was a more mellow vibe, or depending on what you're going for.
Was pretty mellow,
well, not mellow. I mean, like, you know how it was playing compared to the cinematics. It felt a bit too mellow when it was a walk in the woods, or depending on the woods. And also, you branded a car in it, so I don't think that would have gone down very well in legal issues.
What went well?
Okay.
Right, I think that the whole cinematics going through the car wash looked very nice, professional.
Yeah. The transitionings went very well with, especially the loud. What was that? Was it a ringing sound? Or was it? Yeah, that's I think the transitions really worked well, and it wasn't too long. The cinematics that you didn't want to skip off of it. But yeah, again, I'd say use a tripod because they were too shaky in the scenes.
I don't think you can use a tripod in a car.
No, I didn't mean that part. I mean the bit when he's walking up and walking out. I feel like that could have been used with a tripod, and you could have used the zoom technique on the way out. So when the camera zoomed in closer and then brought out as he's walking out, and you could have had a more straight up angle instead of a side angle.
I don't think there was anything bad with it, to be honest. I thought it was pretty decent.
CJ, any bad points?
The chirping for the birds is just so irrelevant towards the video. Keep in mind, you're in an industrial place. I don't think any birds will be there.
I think the fact that they added in the bird noise was because they were sponsoring Man vs. Wild, and if you look at the other sponsors for Man vs. Wild, they add the chirping sound to make sure that it transitions correctly into the TV program. Yet again, I also think, as I said in the first advert that you showed us, that the logo, even though it was predominantly there was still too light on the outside. So as you faded the background, that worked well. You should have darkened it as well to make sure the text stood out.
So what do you think went well in the tele shopping ad?
I think that the comedy aspect of it was good, but since it was used later on instead of straight away, it looks a bit messy because you got the bit at the start that's like a proper advert, and you got the bit at the end that just has bloopers and shit. And it just looks a bit messy, to be honest. But it's good, but it don't really work with the whole serious and then funny. Should be funny or not.
I feel like the comedic aspect in the green screen moment really built up towards the end. So it was a phase of going from bad jokes, do you remember the old advertising you used to have? Buy one, get one now, free. It kind of showed the aspects of that. But
I liked Terry.
Yeah, Terry was... Everyone loved Terry.
So what do you think could be improved in my production?
CJ, do you want to say?
Well, the scripting is kind of off. Doesn't for example, your synergy, it went from being serious to being, it's funny.
Yeah, I don't want me, CJ.
I'm a bit confused why what's his face walked in with the fan.
That was supposed to be.
That was supposed to be.
That was the spoof of the hurricane. So it was supposed to show the wind.
So overall, would you buy a product?
If it was £4.99,
yeah, $4.99.
Yeah, $4.99. I'd buy it.
So there was a mistake with the pricing.
Yeah. What is the actual pricing?
$499.
Oh, fuck that!
I ain't about that.
£500.
So overall, was it an interesting advert?
Yes, it was. It's kind of lured. If you had had the Terry scene earlier on, I feel like people wouldn't have skipped off it so fast.
Yeah, because Terry's a lad.
At the beginning of it, it was just a bit stale with the comedy. You didn't give enough pause time for emphasis, and you didn't kind of switch roles. It was just either one person or the other person talking, and it felt like a bit awkward between you two.
Well, thanks, guys.
No problem.
Follow me on Instagram.
Follow me on Instagram,
Yeah,
James
follow me.
Mike. So.